Hello to all of you out there watching. Today I was wondering, have any of you ever wondered about the faces and the people behind the evolution of modern drumming in sound, style, and technology? I would gamble to guess that most of you probably haven't. So today I would like to introduce you to someone who completely changed drumming and how the world perceives it. Completely changed drumming as a craft, as an art form, and as an instrument. His name was Gene Krupa. And you can see Gene Krupa right here on this magazine. As you can tell with his own magazine, he was quite a hoot back in the day and gained an awful lot of popularity. He really made drummers household names. He brought drummers from background instrumentalists into the spotlight. And he made drummers recognizable figures in popular media. Let me tell you a little bit about his life. So Gene Krupa was born on January 15th, 1909 in Chicago as the youngest of 9 siblings. Growing up, his mother wanted him to be a priest, but he wanted to try some instruments. So when he was around 11, he worked at a music store, and he chose the cheapest instrument in the store. And that was the drums, and the rest is history, because that's really where it all began. Moving forward as a young person, he developed a love for jazz, and really got immersed in percussion and studying the drums. In 1927, a revolutionary thing happened. He had his first recording session, and this was a big deal because this is one of the first times that a drummer ever used a full setup with a bass drum kick pedal. Not many drummers had done that in the day, and as we know today, most drummers use a bass drum kick pedal or even a double bass drum kick pedal, so this was a big deal. Moving forward, he did go to college for a little bit, but dropped out to pursue music full-time. And eventually he moved to New York, played with a man named Red Nichols, and he also was the pit drummer for some plays, such as Strike Up the Band and Girl Crazy. After that, he met a man named Benny Goodman, and Benny Goodman completely changed his life, made him the famous drummer he is today. He got the job as Benny Goodman's drummer for the Benny Goodman Orchestra, and in 1937, they recorded a song called Sing, Sing, Sing. Now, you've probably heard Sing, Sing, Sing. It's everywhere. Although it wasn't their original song and it was originally done by a man named Louis Prima, Sing, 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 the Benny Goodman version, is the more popular version. And we still see Gene Krupa's drum part today in sheet music. It's still, Sing, Sing, Sing is still played at football games and all over the place. You hear it for like peppy events. And it's still popular, which is pretty huge. It really, at the time, it really set Gene Krupa's career off. After that, in 1938, Gene Krupa formed a solo band, and 1938 was a huge year for Gene Krupa. After forming a solo band, he also starred in a movie called Some Like It Hot, which was released in 1939, and in 1938, a drum guidebook came out called the Gene Krupa Drum Method. After that, the focus was more on his solo bands, and eventually and he was still popular into the 50s. Into the 50s, he did some drum battles with another drummer named Buddy Rich. Now, if you don't know Buddy Rich, he's also one of the most famous drummers of all time. Some people consider him to be the most famous drummer of all time, but he's a big name in drumming. And so both of these huge drummers for their time, excellent percussionists, came together head-to-head in these drum battles, and it really showcased their talent and skill as professional percussionists. After that, Gene Krupa also started a drum school with another drummer named Cozy Cole, and a movie even came out about Gene Krupa called The Gene Krupa Story, a Paramount Hollywood movie in 1959. Now, how many drummers do you know that have their own Hollywood movie? Not many, right? And so that's just another example of Gene Krupa bringing drummers to the front. So for his accomplishments, he accomplished a lot. Looking at this magazine, you can see that by 1945, he had already recorded 392 recordings. That is a huge discography. I don't know of any other drummers that have recorded that many songs. Other accomplishments of his include that he managed to persuade Slingerland to add tuning on their toms. Now this right here is a Slingerland tom, and this is a big deal because he persuaded them to add tuning. If he hadn't done that, we wouldn't probably have tuned toms like these today. That is a huge deal for drumming technology. He also worked with Zildjian to produce modern hi-hats. Back in the day, they were called lowboys, but he helped make the modern version of the hi-hat what it is today. And obviously, his work using a bass drum in his recordings was a big deal. Sing 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 was a huge deal. And his playing was influenced by the Chicago style and New Orleans ragtime, which this style of drumming, his unique style, made up of this influence, completely changed swing and jazz. And drumming, this style completely has inspired probably every drummer, whether they know it or not. He completely changed the field of drumming. So at the end of his life, Gene Krupa had a heart attack in 1960, and then his career kind of went slow. In 1969, he did some anti-drug campaigns with Slingerland, just like the drum I showed you, that's a Slingerland drum. And then finally, in 1973, he had his last show with the Goodman Quartet, and fittingly enough, since Benny Goodman was really who set off his career. And he died on October 16th, 1973, due from a heart attack. And he had also been suffering from leukemia and emphysema. But even after his death, Gene Krupa's legacy lives on. He brought drummers to the front. He made drummers household names. He changed drumming in sound and style. And without Gene Krupa, who knows what drumming would be today. So I hope you enjoyed and learned something new today.